Sure. So this client of ours has been within our organization for many years and for various engagements. I remember meeting the business owner in Europe during their travels. It was around 2016, 2017. So we helped them in various engagements over the past decade. And we also introduced clients to them in line with their business activities, which are facilitation of payment services and foreign transactions, being a regulated payment service provider based in Hong Kong. During their expansion, they set up 2 entities in Australia. And in Australia, it's very particular. You need to appoint a professional resident director for any company, regulated or not. So the service that they needed from us was supply of a professional resident director who wouldn't be necessarily involved in the business, but it's required to be appointed in order to comply with the local regulatory framework. The process, especially for a regulated business, is straightforward. You need to supply a set of due diligence on the professional director, background, CV, resume, and information along their current employment, so the client can conduct their own KYC and approve the individual. So we supplied that documentation to the client within the first week of the engagement. They approved it after some KYC review. And after that, they appointed, because they have a registered agent in Australia, they were able to appoint the individual directly on the registry. So the whole engagement took 2 or 3 weeks to review the KYC of the director, to sign off an appointment agreement and consent forms, and to actually appoint the individual on the ground. It's all based on the UK common law. So you would find in countries which are based on the UK common law, for example, in Singapore, in India, in Australia, in New Zealand, it's mandatory to appoint a director who is resident on the ground. Even if they are not actively involved in the business, they're often used for government correspondence. For example, if there is a reporting obligation that is due for submission, the government will send a notification to the company on one hand, but also to the local director. If there are any challenges with the director, he is often summoned to explain why is there a delay in the reporting or some other corporate matter. Well, it's very often the case where we have to act fast and supply documentation in an expedited manner. So we collected a lot of due diligence on our professional director that's in a format accepted by our client. There was always the probability that they would not accept this individual for various reasons. For example, if he was more specialized on the accounting side and they needed someone with financial background, they would prefer another individual. So in a lot of engagements, we offer several options to our clients, several individuals that they can consider and compare with different professional backgrounds, management backgrounds, and experience. Some clients prefer directors who had a decade of experience, while others prefer basically young individuals without much experience to show a little bit of substance, that they're more engaged and want to involve the public more actively. Yeah? So these were the challenges that we faced: just promptly and transparently share information with the director with this client of ours, who are very sophisticated and they do thorough KYC check on these directors. Foreign investors looking to do business in Australia should always consider that need to appoint a resident director, a registered agent, and need to have also an address on the ground. So all these are services that Healy Consultants supplies in a package. So it's great to have one single point of contact for all these domiciliation matters in order to comply with the local regulatory framework. So when you move into the country and do your business in Australia, you should always consider And keep in mind that you need a local individual on the ground to be appointed on the company. If you have any further inquiries for Australia or the region in general, don't hesitate to send us an inquiry. Our website is www.healyconsultants.com, and you can send an inquiry there. You receive back a quotation for your preferred service within 24 hours.